It is Shane Harper again with the Jamaica Gleaner letters to the editor for today, July 15th, 2025. Today we have 3 letters to the editor for you, and our first one, written by Daniel Barnes, is entitled Create a Country Where People Want to Raise Children. The editor, Madam. Dr. Zinu Adili's recent article, You Want Babies? Give Women a Better Birthing Experience, is both timely and deeply necessary. The issues raised go beyond hospital policy. They strike at the heart of how we treat women, families, and the beginning of life in Jamaica. As she rightly points out, denying women the presence of a birthing companion undermines their safety, dignity, and emotional strength during labor. If we are serious about addressing declining birth rates, we must start by creating a supportive, respectful environment in our hospitals. However, this cannot be where the conversation ends. Jamaica must also take a broader, more holistic approach to encouraging family life. That includes strengthening partnerships in parenting, especially by involving fathers early in the journey. Programs that target men as active, supportive partners in pregnancy and child rearing should be normalized and encouraged. Additionally, early mommy classes and even daddy classes should be more accessible in communities and clinics. These sessions can offer guidance, answer concerns, and ease the fears of first-time parents. We also need a stronger media presence around modern parenting. Financial incentives and support programs are also crucial. More government-backed parenting incentives, such as subsidized childcare, parental leave for both mothers and fathers, and tax benefits, can make parenting more feasible in today's high-cost society. There is a need for a national planned parenting policy, not one based on limiting children, but rather one that guides first-time parents with emotional, educational, and financial support from pregnancy to infancy. If we are to reverse our falling birth rate, we must meet people where they are emotionally, financially, and socially. Respectful maternity care is just the beginning. We must also create a culture that uplifts families, values both parents, and equips them for the responsibility and joy of raising children. Let's not just ask for more babies. Let's create a country that people want to raise their children in. I am Daniel Barnes. Our second letter to the editor for today, July 15th, is written by Civanna Cottrell, and the title is Call for Thoughtful Public Discourse on School Bus System. The editor, Madam. I write with concern after reading the article published on Sunday, July 13th, titled Not Certified. ElHydro got $1.4 billion school bus contract without dealer status. I believe this matter calls for thoughtful public discourse, not mere sensationalism or political finger-pointing. While the article raises eyebrows about the awarding of the school bus contract to ElHydro, a company reportedly without local dealer certification, it is important that we approach the issue with balance and a firm focus on outcomes that will benefit the children. The concern must be whether the process, perhaps unconventional, still aligns with the government's broader vision to strengthen and modernize student transportation. Before we rush to condemn, we must ask ourselves, are we allowing politics to cloud our judgment on an initiative that could drastically improve the lives of thousands of school children? We live in a time where incidents of child abductions and other criminal threats are growing concerns for every parent. If we have an opportunity to transport children in safer, more structured and supervised ways, shouldn't we be supporting it? Are we prioritizing the best interests of students, or are we allowing political undertones to overshadow much needed progress? Let us not pretend that procurement challenges are new, but at the same time, transparency and accountability in public procurement remains pillars of good government. While it may be legally permissible to award contracts based on unsolicited proposals, such as in ElHydro's case, the lack of due diligence regarding dealership certification and competitive tendering may leave the door open for public distrust. It is in the government's best interest to clarify these gaps, not just to defend a decision, but to reaffirm its commitment to efficiency, equity, and integrity in the use of public funds. The article rightly invites questions, but it must not derail what could be transformative as a project. We must resist politicizing this matter and instead encourage a constructive review process. Picture a single mother working 2 jobs just to provide basic necessities. Every day, she struggles to scrape together enough bus fare to send her children to school, often having to make hard choices between lunch money and transportation. With a national school bus system in place, this mother can breathe easier, knowing her children will arrive at school on time and, most importantly, safely. Let us not only to hold decision makers accountable, but also to improve and expand initiatives that safeguard youth. The transportation program, if executed with the right standards and oversight, can become a legacy of this administration, one that puts children first and builds public trust in our systems. I am Civanna Cottrell. And our final letter to the editor, and this one is actually the letter of the day and is written by Patrick Robinson, and it is entitled Rekindle Spirit and Passion in West Indies Test Cricket. The editor, Madam. The global dominance of West Indies in Test cricket lasted from about 1976 to 1995. In the 30 years that have elapsed since that time, about 100 players have represented the West Indies in Test cricket. Of that number of batsmen and bowlers, only one player, Chris Gayle, would have been good enough to represent the West Indies in Test cricket during that golden era. However, we might consider adding the name Jayden Seales, the skillful Trinidadian seamer, who after 5 years of Test cricket has an average of 22 runs per wicket. Excluded from the post-1995 era are Brian Lara and Shivnarine Chandapal, whose careers started in the golden era but ended afterwards. There are those who criticize Mr. Gayle for not using his feet when he bats, but the stand and deliver hitter has a batting average of 42 and 2 triple centuries to his credit. An average of 40 and over is usually taken as the benchmark of high quality batting in Test cricket. There is a doubt about adding the name of Mr. Seales to Mr. Gayle's because his Test career is only 5 years old, and it is not reasonable to compare his achievement with cricketers whose careers lasted 10 to 15 years. But there is no gainsaying his tremendous talent. His average of 22 runs per wicket readily places him among the dominant group of Marshall, Holding, Garner, Roberts, Croft, Ambrose, and Walsh from the golden era. We have to confront the truth that lucrative T20 cricket has robbed West Indies Test cricket of the region's best players. But T20 cricket cannot take all the blame. After all, when it started in 2003, the decline had already set in. More can and must be done by Cricket West Indies and the region to ensure that the best players make themselves available for Test cricket. By the same token, more can and must be done by the relevant authorities in Jamaica to ensure that our best athletes remain at home. There is wealth in Jamaica, sufficient to induce our athletes to remain here. The problem with the wealth is its grossly uneven distribution. The decline in Test cricket has been analysed and inquired into ad nauseum. At this point, the need is for an action plan to arrest the downward trend. Technical efficiency by itself will not suffice. We must rekindle the spirit and passion that inspired Michael Holding in 1976 at the Oval, England, to unleash blindingly fast deliveries on a flat pitch and yielded 14 wickets for 149 runs, including the wicket of the English captain Tony Greig from racist South Africa. Having earlier predicted that England would make the West Indies grovel during the Test series, Greig later conceded that the West Indies did indeed make England grovel. I am Patrick Robinson. And that concludes our selected letters to the editor, to the Jamaica Gleaner for July 15th. Please share your thoughts.